Hello, and welcome back. My name is Clark, or CP Cunny, and thank you for joining me today. Now, this is the second intro that I've recorded, and then I realized in the midst of recording, I'll get into it a little bit later, that I am a dummy. So, before we get things started, before I talk about what I'm going to be building today, then I need to, I guess I need help. Now, for those of you who have been following the channel in this series in particular, may know that my good buddy Matthew, one of my longest supporters, well, he has a grizzly bear named after him, and this grizzly bear is old. When I say old, like 31.7. The life expectancy for a grizzly bear is 23. The oldest one alive, last time that I checked, was like 35. Meaning that Matthew, he ain't got that long left. And I've made my peace with that. Or at least I'm trying to. But what I haven't made my peace with is the fact that I want to memorialize him, to commemorate him for being such a foundational part of not only the carnivora section of the zoo, because he was one of, if not the first animal to be added to this whole section of the zoo. Whole section of the zoo that includes, like, all of this, so far at least. Oh, excuse me. But I have this spot for him, and one day this will be a memorial to Matthew once he's finished writing in this book of life. But I want to put a bronze grizzly bear statue. It's actually really cool. It looks exactly like he does now, just sitting on his bum, just hanging out, being a bear. But you unlock these statues through the campaign mode, or sorry, the career mode. I hate career mode, but I've been doing it, little bit, in hopes of getting the grizzly bear statue or statues, because there's one in stone, bronze, silver, and gold. Hoping to get them unlocked, but I don't know which scenario it is. Despite trying on multiple occasions to look it up, I guess that's just not something that people think is worth posting about. I don't know. But if anybody out there knows the path, the career path that I need to take in order to get that bronze grizzly bear statue, then I mean, the only way that I can think of to repay you is name a staff member, or name an animal that you would like named after you, and you got it. Please do it. Don't do it for me. Do it for Matthew. Anyway, what I'm gonna be building today is, I originally planned on doing a really cool, like, double hybrid habitat for skunks and raccoons, for land sharing versus land sparing. But then while recording, plopped down the Conservation Education Board and read up on land sharing versus land sparing and realized that it wasn't at all what I thought it was. So my plan kind of went kaput. Anywho, what I have now decided to do is, for those of you who've been following, this is the cats section. It's obviously a work in progress. This is the bears section. Ursidae, Felidae. Eventually, there will be a dog section over in this area. Canidae. But in addition to, the specific families and the greater order, which is Carnivora, there's also a suborder. Now, basically these are generally referred to as caniforms and feliforms. Dog form animals and cat form animals, or carnivorans, whatever. Now, generally speaking, the caniforms are much more successful. They include bears, actually like actual dogs, Mastelas, which is this whole building right here, as well as raccoons, skunks, if you think about like the red panda. So what I'm thinking is this path is going to be a boundary between caniforms and felliforms, at least in this little section, because these are caniforms, these are caniforms. Caniforms are basically going to be everywhere except this little slice, because there's just more of them. But because of that, I pivoted and have designated this area, I guess minus or at plus, let's see here, plus this little slice over here, to be my hyena habitat. Specifically, I want to say it is the striped hyena, I think. Actually, I don't know. I don't actually remember. There's two hyenas in the game. There's a striped hyena and a spotted hyena, and I'm trying to remember which one I said that I wanted to do. I think it's the striped hyena, because the striped hyena has a broader range, are more temperature tolerant, and animals that live in warm habitats, I like to give them indoor enclosures, just because the like whole outdoor heaters or whatever I think is kind of weird. But anywho, hyenas, despite the fact that they kind of look like dogs, are actually felliforms. They have obtained their dog-like characteristics just through the way that they live and convergent evolution. So, striped hyena over here. Again, I did get that right? I didn't forget again. Yeah, striped hyena. But I have no clue what that habitat's going to look like. I literally just decided it was coming in here about 10 minutes ago. So that means that I'm going to pivot away from this area once again, and I'm going to come back here. Now, I have yet to decide which of the two habitats I'm going to place here today. One of these is going to be a cougar, and one of them is going to be a Siberian tiger. Both of them, actually have like ranges that it makes sense to make these habitats outdoors. And to be honest, I'm probably just going to do the Siberian tiger. I just, got credit for like contributing to the community challenge or whatever, and I got this really good white Siberian tiger. So that's probably what we're going to be doing. As for what that habitat is going to look like in particular, you know as much as I do. But without further ado, I'm going to go and hand it over to JJ Ibsen and the crew with the music, and I will see you on the other side. Bye-bye.
Normally I do all of these speed builds at either times 6 or times 10 speed, regardless of not regardless. Depending on how quickly like I need things to move. You know, if it's a really long build, I'm not gonna sit here and try and keep y'all here for like an hour and a half while I do times 6. Anywho, this is times 20. So the reason for that is because this took forever. And it's pretty monotonous. So I will be putting timestamps. I always put timestamps in my videos to mark off the building from the rest of it. But I will be putting further timestamps towards the part where, you know, to designate where I am working on this particular barrier. It is an idea that I am pretty pleased with how it turned out, but that doesn't mean that it's compelling content to watch. So if you would like to watch the time lapse of me just, you know, filling out these stripes with apostrophes and parentheses and periods and stuff like that, then, you know, do nothing. But if you are more interested in skipping this part, it's only like 2 minutes, but you know, if you want to skip it, then skip it, please. And yeah, bye bye. Enjoy.
Okay, that took longer than I thought it was going to. I cannot lie, but we are finished. And I mean, here's our finished product, or at least something resembling it. Now, per usual, I still have some peripheral work left to do. I want to do a nice little area right here, where I actually have some. Like decor and stuff like that. Not for the scenery rating per se, because everything is already 100%. But, just for my own sanity. Also, I might need to expand this path to kind of give the guests somewhere to stand for these talks. But, that aside, she is finished. Now, this is what took me most of that time. I had this idea for a barrier, and I think it turned out pretty well. It could have turned out better, but I'm all in all pretty happy with how this very precise, like tiger stripe fencing turned out to be. I thought about doing just black stripes on orange, like Siberian tigers are, both of mine are white, but don't get it twisted. They are I guess they are by default orange. Although, generally more of them are white, and I think that's just because that genetic variation. I mean, there's more leucistic Siberian tigers. You associate Siberian tigers with being leucistic because being leucistic is actually not harmful for their chances of survival because they live in snowy environments. But either way, though, I got a leucistic white tiger from my community challenge participation, and so I did. I kind of made the barrier according to that. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. I meant to get rid of this before. I might need to go in and add some rock to fill that in. Yeah, a lot of times when I'm recording these outros, then I notice things that it's like, oh, poop, I didn't do that. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, this barrier's. It took an absurd amount of time for me to do, and I think it was worth it. I'm gonna try to post this on the Steam Workshop, just this little individual segment. If y'all would be interested in, using that in your own zoos, and honestly, that's something that I'm gonna try to do more often is posting either barriers or maybe whole habitats. But something I'd like to get involved in. As for the rest of the habitat, there's not too much terribly unique about it. I ended up building this little cave for them. It was sufficient hard shelter for one tiger, but once I added the second one, then it was not. So I went ahead and added this little awning area over here, which I don't think it really adds anything to the look of the habitat, but I don't really think it takes away anything either. It's just kind of there. It's also kind of hard to justify all of this space in these biomes, I find. Now, taiga is easier than desert and tundra because there are more plants. But, whereas with the cheetah habitat, I basically covered the entire thing with this grass, and I did something similar with basically all of my recent habitats, then that's not really the case here. But, with the snow and with kind of the texture of having some of the snow kind of thinned out where there might be parts of high traffic is the idea whenever I go about doing that, then I think it works out. Anywho, I was also delighted that throughout that entire time, I let the game run for longer than I usually do while building habitats, just because I had to keep playing it and letting the coolers cool the area down. So I'm really glad that Matthew didn't die during that time. I had I don't know, you might not have seen them at times 6 or times 10 speed or whatever I ended up putting it at. I had a couple animal dying notifications, and it my heart just about fell out of my butt. Because I'm not ready. I'm not ready for him to go yet. Preparations still need to be made. And if I wasn't just so eager to get back on and actually post something, then I would be playing the career mode right now. Which, by the way, I'm not closed off to the idea of playing that on live stream or on or playing it like doing it on YouTube and snipping together relevant clips and stuff like that, because if I play it just in real time, it's going to be hours. So y'all let me know if that would be something that y'all be interested in seeing, and maybe y'all can tag along with me on the journey to send Matthew outright. Let me see, where is he? That's not him. Another thing is that like his mate, she's also Emily. She's older than he is. So like she's old too. I'm just less attached to her because I didn't name her after somebody that I knew, like old Matthew here. That old geezer. Look at that, he's thriving. Like, anyway, that's neither here nor there. Main focus is that this habitat is finished. I do hope you will join me next time. I have no idea what I'm going to be building next time. There's going to be a cougar habitat here, but I don't know if that's going to be the next thing that I build. It might not be. I'm looking at this area now, and I'm thinking maybe this would be a good area to put a sand cat. Although I want that habitat to be indoors, and that's going to be an awkward building to shape because it's not even a circle, it's an oval. But either way, though, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you. Wait a minute, sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. I will see you next time. Bye bye.